The structure of current economies was established in 1648 under the signing of the Peace of Westphalia. Since that date, economies have been structured with a central government that collects taxes, spends money and allocates funds, and a central bank that prints money and sets interest rates. Central banks can only buy debt securities from the public. In 1973, the U.S. Central Bank adopted a dual mandate to maintain stable prices and full employment. While other central banks may not have this dual mandate, they certainly aim to keep inflation at bay and the economy at full employment. To achieve stable prices, central banks set interest rates at the intersection of aggregate supply and aggregate demand. The intersection of aggregate supply and aggregate demand sets interest rates at equilibrium because all that is produced is consumed. Therefore, all money earned is spent. If interest rates are not set at equilibrium, then the economy could be stagnant if interest rates are too high because citizens will not be able to afford what they want to consume. If interest rates are too low, like the years leading to the 2008 financial crisis, then debt market events will form where the volume of private debt cannot be serviced. This leads to defaults when interest rates increase because there's not enough money to service debt outstanding. Central banks are not always able to set interest rates at equilibrium because of human behavior, natural disaster, political pressure, or other events. The result of this mismatch is experienced through the short-term debt cycle, better known as the business cycle, that takes between 5 to 8 years. If at the end of each cycle the volume of private debt is higher, there will be an economic contraction that can turn into a recession because the volume of private debt is not sustainable. U.S. Central Bank's second objective is to maintain full employment. The data available in the United States since the 1950s shows that 0% unemployment has not been achieved. A country may not be able to achieve 0% unemployment because aggregate demand will not equal aggregate consumption. In other words, total income earned will not equal total spending, and therefore not all citizens can be employed simultaneously. Professor John Maynard Keynes found that in an economy, number 1, consumption is less than income, number 2, investment is less than saving, and number 3, employment is less than full employment without government intervention. Central government must make sure that funds allocated to the economy are not in excess, otherwise demand will be higher than supply and inflation will follow. That is because demand will outpace the economy's ability to produce and therefore prices rise. Without central government intervention, the private sector may not have been able to restore the labor market, as it did during the 2020 pandemic. Government intervention is vital when economies are in distress or when there is a need to allocate resources to specific sectors of the economy, particularly during early phases of economic development.